And we have Sam and Ceschi from the Codefendants here to talk about the new record and their new single with Fat Mike from NOFX. How you guys doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah. Good morning.
Great, man. I'm really keen to talk to you guys. There's a lot to talk about. I think you guys have a really cool story. So I wanted to start at the beginning because you got a pretty unique story that not many artists can say. Fat Mike not only produced their record, but they also joined their band.
It's true.
Yeah. I guess you guys like to meet first and Gimme Gimmes. We were the only other band that he started, right?
I guess you're in good company then.
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
So
the
take it back
story,
to
the story with that was, we were hanging out at Fat Mike's a lot during the inception of the project. When he finally heard it, he he fell in love with it, and not only offered us a deal and wanted to produce it, but then eventually, when he got more and more involved, we were just like, "You're in the band, man." So it was just kind of natural like that.
and you guys met at a 924 Gilman Street in Berkeley, which is sort of like a landmark within the punk scene. For someone that's never been there, can you describe what 924 Gilman Street is and what makes it so important to the punk scene?
I would say it's just like a beautiful disaster. It's like a super. It's like a spooky, dark, dingy bar in a weird part of Berkeley, an industrial zone, and
A bar with no alcohol, for the
yeah,
record.
oh yeah, bar.
It's all ages. It's all ages
Yeah,
club.
but it's amazing. It's just fucking amazing. The whole way that they put it together, the whole way that they operate it. They self-police themselves. I don't know. It's pretty cool. There used to be a brewery across the street, so I was happy on that. But
Yeah, no, it's the all ages venue for punks coming up in the Bay Area. Straight up, and it has been since the '80s. It's been, I first went there when I was 13 years old. So, um, I grew up in, I spent my early childhood in the Bay Area, and then left for the East Coast. By the time I was coming back every summer to see my father, and Gilman was one of those spots we'd always go to as kids, if that makes
I
sense.
think every place, every scene, needs a place like that where it's like it's propping up the scene. It's a meeting place. It's it's a developmental place for bands to grow, all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think that's necessary for every scene. Some scenes should grow, but
I agree, though. I think those spaces are so important. You could tell that when you get to a city where there's a developed scene for for kids, that an all ages venue, it's such a different experience. Like we were just in Colorado Springs at this place, What's Left Records, which is a record store DIY space that kids go to, and you could just tell where people have built scenes where um where they've been developed and where they're not, when it's just like a Live Nation venue in the middle, like a House of Blues in your city, and you don't have the DIY element, you don't have all ages spaces. Like, it's just a different thing. I don't know.
it also
and
depends too on how they foster those scenes from the beginning. We were talking about it in Colorado, where we were looking around and we were like, man, it's not like the biggest festival, but they're growing it, and all the vendors that were there were just solid. All the people that were there were solid. You could tell that they had they had brought in people that were interested in making their scene better, not just being in the scene just to get their cool points or whatever. It's people actively working to grow it. You know,
Yeah,
I think.
and again, another big part of that, it wasn't for profit. You could tell it wasn't for. You could
Yeah.
tell the difference when it's not just some like money grab scheme or cool grab scheme. And that's how it was at 924 Gilman as well. Everybody who worked at 924 Gilman and works at 924 Gilman is a volunteer. You know what I'm saying? So That makes it very different. It changes, your ideals. When your ideal, when your end goal is profit, it's very different than making the end goal just art and
Yeah, or
community.
having a safe place for fucking like underage kids to go to watch a show.
Yeah.
And I think those places are more equally more important with like large corporations buying up musical venues, controlling all the different venues. So it's like they have the small club, they have the medium size thing, they have the big shed, and it's like now they're controlling and dictating what people can and can't see and what content comes through.
Yeah, that's capitalism.
Yeah. Endless gatekeepers, and then all we're seeing is just a microcosm of that all with the music industry where there are a couple monopoly companies that are running the whole thing, and it's sad to see. And I remember in 2016 when Trump was elected, there was a big push against DIY spaces, and a lot of places were shut down that year, and it was because they were getting phone calls into fire departments or whatever, just like constant complaints from neighbors because it was a whole motivated time to shut those places down. I think that's happening. That's gonna keep happening, unfortunately. And what we're gonna see is corporate interests get involved, and yeah,
I mean, they're
that's what
already
I'm
involved.
saying.
They've already got that. I think what you're going to see in retaliation to that is kind of like what people are seeing right now in the like the bar industry. Like the kids coming up don't go to ultra clubs anymore. They don't get credit cards and try to stunt at the fucking bar with their candle service. Like they're finding more free things to do, more outside stuff to fucking show up. And I think that with the rise of corporate entities taking over all the clubs and stuff like that, you're just going to get more of a DIY backyard party with the internet and shit, and spaces like fuck, what was it called? Something space. I just found it, but it's like anyway, it's a spot you can go on your phone and you can just look up venues around you that are for rent, and it tells you how much they are per hour. So if you want to throw your own show, you can go, oh shit, I can get this fucking 100-person room over here for $100 an hour with a. And
Yeah,
I think
and
that's going to bring rise to people just throwing their own shows, and that's
yeah,
what
and
we're
as
doing.
we've seen in California too, like backyard spaces, they're like incredible. There are insane outdoor backyard shows and in the punk scene community at East LA, and we've got to play
Yeah,
one with Knuckleheads, and yeah, that was
ooh,
really cool. So
that was a good time.
I think you're seeing that more often now. You have bands like even on a big scale, like All Americans Rejects, that they're playing backyard parties, people's proms, wherever they can sort of find a stage and an outlet, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get like they've been doing that. I feel the East LA scene definitely has the. They were doing that during COVID, and even before that, it's always been like a thing. And I think that like you're going to see bigger bands trying to do that in the time to come, just so because people aren't going to. I don't know. It's going to just be a hipster thing to do, pretty much. They're going to figure out what the cool. That's what they always do. They find out what the people are doing at a grassroots level, and then they just exploit it and then make it their own. It won't be long till Clear Channel's doing their own little backyard party tour
Right.
with fucking Coldplay. I just saw that lineup yesterday for the iHeart Radio concert that they got going here in Vegas, and it's fucking bizarre, dude. It's so bizarre. It's like fucking Kenny Chesney and then Lil Wayne. And
There's no genre lines anymore.
no. I mean, and it's just like I'm like, what do you mean? Are all these people doing like a full set? Or is they gonna just it's gonna be like a 2 songs little banger and then they move on like a video? I don't know. I'm kind of interested to go see it.
you could
So
do that
circling,
for us.
so circling back to what you were talking about on the Trump thing, tell us about the new single. What are we doing this for? Because it was definitely influenced and inspired by the Trump era of disinformation. Can you expand on that? And what was the spark that led to writing it?
Well, Mike, let's be very clear. Fat Mike wrote every single lyric of that song, and so it's a unique recording for us because it's the only recording where Mike wrote all the lyrics. He came to us with um, a NoFX song that had that kind of like '80s thrash crossover punk sound. Um, it kind of reminded me of Suicidal Tendencies when I heard it. And he's like, I want to do this fast back and forth thing with the vocals, but he had all the lyrics written, and he was certainly inspired um by the wave of disinformation. I mean, we're at the time we were in pretty deep pandemic still, and at the end of pandemic, and it was the era of like QAnon and all these, you know, hyper serious, all these conspiracy theories, um, and COVID era, and that's what he came out with. Unfortunately, I can't really speak too much about his frame of thought, his train of thought during the writing process, though. So, uh,
And there are two versions of the songs. You have the NoFX version and the Codefendants version. What made this song adaptable to both bands?
We just remixed the shit. It's
nah,
just
it,
real.
what happened? I do remember this. So Mike wanted to do this version of a NoFX album where all these friends of his put out NoFX songs in completely different styles before NoFX ever put out the real thing. Does that make sense? He wanted to do like he
He
wanted
wanted
like
to make it seem like he
Fishbone,
did an album of covers from all his friends' bands,
exactly.
but
But
it was actually them doing covers of the unreleased album.
exactly. So like some of the covers that came out were from like Less Than Jake and I believe Fishbone.
The Skins.
And the Skits, I remember that. I don't know if that ever came out, but it was this whole plan he had to do a cover album of of songs that never had come out and then put out the whole album. Does that make what I'm saying? So our cover of that song with the acapella and the beat that Factor Chandelier made, um that was our cover of a NoFX song that that we actually sing on the NoFX song too.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool though, because like if you put the NoFX name on something, people immediately have their own sort of opinions on it and perception just based on the fact that it's a NoFX song. So if you change the context and change the artist, it's forcing them to think outside the box and take a fresh perspective on it.
Yeah, he also conveniently quit playing music and stepped out the scene before he started making this stuff, so he doesn't have to take any criticism if his fans are pissed off. Or they don't like the direction it's going. You know what I mean? I see what he did there. Very calculated man.
I think I think that whole concept that I just laid out, it didn't happen or isn't gonna happen, but I don't know, maybe this is part of it and it's just happening like 3-4 years later
Or
or
maybe
whatever.
he spoiled his plan.
Oh yeah, did I just fuck it up?
Whatever.
Oh,
Well, when we started this band, I'd asked Fat Mike. I would say, hey, you know, just for this project, can we please just keep like anonymity? Like we don't want to be known. We don't want to be seen. Like we don't talk about our past or anything like that. We just kind of wanted to just put the music out there and just keep ourselves out of it as much as possible. And the first interview Fat Mike did was with like Rolling Stone, and he just like, was it Rolling Stone or was it Krang? Is that
yeah, it was Rolling Stone.
Rolling Stone? And he just fucking dropped the fucking all the info on our whole lives all the way up. He just couldn't help himself. Our names, everything. Yeah,
Our criminal history.
yeah, criminal history. Fucking Ceschi owns Fake Four. Just
Yeah.
right out the gate. It's like, dude, we just talked about this. So if we wrecked his secret right there, it's okay. We do that.
Just showed his poker hand right out of the gate.
Yeah, straight up.
Is that hard for you guys to talk about those sorts of things? Because I know there is that history, and the backstory is equally important, I think. But at the same time, it's like it's personal information that you're sharing with the world. Like, you're on the internet talking about something that was like an experience for you that you went through, and a difficult one at that.
Yeah, it's already out there. I kind of say that half jokingly about him like letting it out. We're pretty brutally honest with it and like what we sing about. And I'm not ashamed of shit. So it's like I'm willing to talk about it. I don't think that I ever want to be put. I never want to put any of that kind of stuff though in a light that it was cool or it's something to like go through and it'll make you a better artist. Like for younger kids listening to it and shit. Because I think that that's a big problem is like the life of imitating art and like I don't know. There's like an archetype of person that will just like latch on. Like I've moved around to a lot of cities and there's always one Gigi in every fucking city. There's always one guy that thinks he's Gigi Allen in the ponytail. And he'll get someone's fucking kitchen and he just doesn't care.
Stop taking off your clothes, Gigi.
Yeah, stop, Gigi. Multiple Gigi's. But yeah, I don't know. I think that it is personal information, but at this point we're quote unquote like a public figure. I tried to go on a blind date with a girl. We did, but she had chat GPT'd me. And like,
Oh, wonderful.
And it got like a whole, like, I had a stunning review. It was good. It definitely said that I wasn't, if they were looking for stability in a relationship, I probably wasn't the one, which is facts. Like, things spoke like the whole truth. So
We're now at the stage where you're getting dating advice from ChatGPT.
yeah, I just read this huge article on the airplane about like, kids that used to be like loners and, outcasts in whatever their social scenes at school. And now these kids are finding like best friends in AI and they're having like actual deep connections and like, like like life-changing conversations with this AI shit. And it's, I don't know, it's trippy. It's weird, but
yeah.
I talked to Super Mario Brothers for like 8 hours a day when I was a kid. So, what's the difference?
So what can you tell us about this live EP, the Codef and Seta project that you got coming up?
Oh, so Seta is a band that originally started in Venezuela in the early 2000s and mid 2000s. And over the years, I've become really good friends with them. When we started Codefendants and we needed to, Codefendants was really a recording project when it started, and we needed to build a live set. That was the first band I reached out to because they're one of my favorite live bands. Period. So to me, that was my ideal band to work with. You know what I'm saying? So we put it together. We went to Florida and worked together, and then did years of shows together. And now we still play together. Unfortunately, one of the main band members, Donnie, had to leave the country um, due to the political climate here and ICE, and he was he was he was immediately facing deportation, so he ended up leaving. And then Chino can't leave the country because of the opposite reason, right? If he leaves, he can't come back. So it's this complicated thing. But anyhow, we wanted to capture that live experience in studio. So after one of our shows um, last year in Florida, we went to Redline Studios and did this whole in studio session with them that captured the sound of what we've been doing with them, So, and we also videotaped it as well. So we had like 4 cameras in there filming us as well. So um, that's what that session is. Yes, yeah.
Are we gonna be releasing the visuals for that, the live?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
Give
it's
it up to
that
Digital Cipher who filmed that and is editing that. Yeah.
it was your was that your video team, the In Decline guys?
No, it was with a friend named Digital, who goes by Digital Cipher, who now is he's based out of Florida. Most of what he does now is work for A24, the movie company A24. So it's gonna look really cool. He does an amazing job. So
The circling back to the In Decline stuff, like videos are like mini movies. It's so cool, and you definitely got to check it out. There's actually a movie on your YouTube channel. It always working with them, was it always coming up with like a cinematic component to be a companion to the music?
Yeah, I mean, we made the music and then we gave it to them to 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 write the story, and they came up with that whole thing, you know. So, um, I mean, I prefer it that way. I kind of like other people's interpretations of the music. I mean, besides the fact that I'm inherently lazy and I don't like writing out the lyrics or finding them, I'm not like a big fan of putting lyrics in the album because I think that I don't know, just personally, I've like misheard a song that I've heard for like 15 years, and then I found out what the lyrics really were. I was like, shit, mine were better, you know. So I think it's like, let people make up their own mind on that kind of stuff, you know.
I love the visual component though, and it's got this sort of that grimy, like old school LA graffiti feel to it, a lot of it, and it's like I definitely vibe with it. It's cool.
Yeah, man.
yeah,
Shout out.
in the climb, they're good friends, and we love the work they do. And
Love
yeah,
the
just
work.
shout out to them.
Just love the work.
Yeah, just love the work. God's
And,
work, really.
and you already have another record that you've worked on that's coming out early next year. What can you tell us about that project?
What can we? What can we legally tell you about that project?
We can
That's
allegedly tell you it's going to be called Lifers.
allegedly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
allegedly.
To us, it's called lifers. I don't know
That's
about to
just
anybody else.
And was
I
there
mean,
anything?
we could say a little bit about the origins of that record. So, um, when we first moved to Vegas, it was on a whim. It was Fat Mike ended up moving into this big house, and he temporarily broke up with his partner and was like, "Yo, everyone move here. Let's make this record." And Sam and I kind of dropped everything and moved there. We dropped everything in our lives and just moved to his house in Vegas. And really, that's where life was started,
yeah,
Does that city have like an influence on the art that you create?
100%.
for
I mean, I'm
sure.
super interested in, you know, we've been putting all the records together to make the album, and I'm interested when it's all done to hear the sequence and just like listen to it because you can with each song it's such a I don't know, it's like a journal of like the last like 2.5 years we've been here, you know, which is pretty cool. But Vegas definitely has a whole different vibe and a feel in the Bay Area where I mean I've written all of my other albums for sure. You know, I've written almost like 90% of all my music in the Bay Area. So it's really cool to like be somewhere else for a long period of time. And the desert's fucking awesome.
Musically, Codefendants are like hard to pin down. They're not easily confined. There's punk, there's hip hop, there's flashes of old school, like hardcore, like you said, even some like folk singer songwriter elements in there. When it came to define your sound, you guys called it crime wave, which I thought was kind of cool. Do you feel it's important that you create your own label for your sound rather than fit into an existing one?
Yeah, absolutely. I, I mean, we'll put for like the right like people that are behind the project and they want to like support the art and like push it forward. We're willing to like work with people, but I mean, good luck trying to fucking put that in some kind of like corporate structure or some way that you're going to be able to quantify how much money you're going to make off of us or whatever like that. You know, like I look at Codefendants like a big weird art piece, and I think that we should just have like main control over it until something, you know, like really spectacular happens, or just, you know, you just hire and get people to do the right shit that you got to get done and figure out how to do it yourself. And I think that we're all pretty knowledgeable to do that, and we're just gonna go that route for now, for the time being.
Yeah, I'd say like if there's anything that ties together the songs is that we're a lyric based band. Do you know what I mean? You can call it whatever you want. We call it crime wave because a lot of the topics and themes kind of fall into that. But it's about the lyrics, so the genre and the backdrop musically is not necessarily the most important thing. We do pick things that we feel and inspired by the music we came up with and grew up on, but it's pretty much anything goes musically. It's about the themes and the lyrics at
Yeah,
the end, which does tie it to folk and to hip hop and to punk. You know what I mean? So
provides everything. I mean, I was fucking around
yeah,
with a techno bossa nova type track yesterday. You know, like I don't know. I love it. I love the fact that we can just like you can just be inspired by one specific type of genre in the morning, and you just start like fucking around with it, and you just come up with a super cool, interesting song that doesn't sound like a lot of song that you wrote. You know?
But
yeah,
that versatility allows you to be sort of like a chameleon where you can play those punk rock festivals in Europe and then come back and play Rhymefest, where you're on a straight hip hop festival with Raekwon, Ghostface, Dilated. Like
mhm.
that's got to be that's got to be a cool experience for you guys, just to be in front of a completely different audience that that doesn't have any preconceived notions of what you guys are.
Yeah, I mean that's been our biggest focus besides getting the album done, is just really branching out. I mean, if you look at the first, when we came out with the Codefendants with the This Is Crime Wave initial album, we were basically already going with NOFX for their final tour, and that was like a 2-year tour basically. So I mean, I would say probably 80% played only in front of NOFX's audience at the beginning. So it's to get to go to Rhymefest was like super like in the right direction that we want to go in, because we don't want to just get stuck on like the punk rock circuit or a hip hop circuit, or we want to play all the different festivals, all the different routes. Because I mean we've gone to Europe so much between me and Ceschi, with our other projects and just doing music, especially with Get Dead. I've been going out there for like 15 years, but if you talk to an electro band, or an underground hip hop DJ or some crazy shit like that, the routes that they go through Europe that they've been doing for 10 years are completely different.
Oh yeah, I've been going through since 2007, and it wasn't until I met Sam, we did Codependence, that I even did the same, touch that punk circuit. It was all it was also a punk circuit, I should say, but it was all because of underground hip hop. And so Rhymefest is actually run in many ways, or it's like connected to a lot of people who are really close to us. Like we're just as close to that hip hop community as we are to the punk community. So it made sense that we showed them love too, and we're a part of it. You know,
And we had a great
It
time. It's a fucking fantastic festival.
yeah, it was
It
fun.
feels like the festival landscape is changing to a certain extent, because you have those big festivals like the Wimmer stuff, but you're seeing like an artist like Tech Nine or somebody like that can like he's not at all in with those bands, but he can play with a Slayer or a Cypress Hill, and even on the West Coast, you're getting those reggae festivals, and they're incorporating hip hop. You got Method Man up there, Ice Cube up there, that sort of thing.
And you mentioned Method Man. Method Man and Tech Nine are two of the best hip hop performers of all time, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So they kill. They can kill in front of anyone, I think. But yeah,
Tech's
Uh,
live show is really unparalleled.
wow.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's a long conversation.
So we'll wrap it up. So so what's next for you guys? You got the live EP on the horizon. You got this new single coming up. What can we expect next?
Yeah, we just the new single, live EP with Seta. It's gonna be on vinyl. We're gonna have visuals, and then unraveling Lifers, the next album for next year. It's gonna be you know a longer process, but I think by spring next year it should be out. So
And we're gonna be working on like more of a stage show type thing, and I don't know. I might be working on like a solo record of just like these random tracks that we did. I had like a project with Edison before Codefendants started that I might want to try to release. I was just talking to my good friend Edison about it, and he's like wants to push it. We just might put that out and a couple more projects too. And
yeah,
just
we
put,
have a bunch of songs with Factor Chandelier too that are.
oh yeah, we got a whole album.
We got a whole album. So we're also kind of quietly with this live EP that we're doing, or live release that we're doing. That's the beginning of us starting our own label as well. So this is Crime Wave label.
And
So
it's like, and we're I don't know as much as like I don't know what it is. It's just it's like an extension of what we're doing. If we have friends or if we're interested in like an up and coming band or an interesting project, like we're down to we want to help foster that project. But they can so we don't there can be a couple ways to do it, but they can just do pre-sales. And when they get the pre-sales, we'll help them, facilitate getting the records made, getting them pressed out and shit like that. And then they can have all of the, my idea is they get all 100% of the profit from the records, and they can donate back what they think we deserve for helping them out. If they saw value in us helping them, then they'll have no problem like kicking down some fucking cash. And if we know we helped somebody and like we did good and they don't kick down cash, then fuck them. We don't have to work with them again. You know, just we can just release things in small batches.
yeah,
That's cool that you're assembling that sort of brotherhood and that network to build and usher in the next generation.
Well, yeah, and it's just pure transparency. I mean, I don't want to run a record label any more than I want to be a fucking house painter. I mean, I'm totally like I'm trying to build something where like I don't have to do some crazy work and be stressed out. But it's back to what we are talking about with Gilman or with like what's left records is like I want to put in the work that I can for our scene to help out shit that we think's interesting. And it's not
right. And what we think is interesting is a lot more vast than just like a punk label would. You know what I
yeah.
mean? We want to give out, make an outlet for all types of sounds. You know what I mean? So that's a thing.
And we're open to in that probably starting next year we're gonna try to do like a crime wave monthly mag or a fucking bi-monthly mag or something like that. We're gonna like talk more about it like that, trying to get away from social media a little more and get back to like how we started this. We were mailing, you had to go out and use cash to get the tape, to get the demo. You had to put cash in an envelope.
Bring back the zines.
Yeah, just I mean, it's just we know so many people like our friend James Norman and just amazing writers that would like be down to contribute to it and just talk about what's going on with like I don't know their world or whatever, and just put some funny ass shit in there, just stupid ass pictures and I don't know. This is fun. We just want to be able to create stuff, and we feel like if you're on if we were under some punk label, if we wanted to do the zine and we wanted to like put out an EP for some small band or something, we don't want to have to talk to them about it. We don't want to have to ask permission. We don't have to have 6 Zoom meetings about whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know. I think that just from our backgrounds alone, this is kind of like the logical step that we would be taking right now.
Well, if it's not fun, why are you doing it, right?
Fuck, that's what I'm saying. Smoking out of a captain's pipe. At 10 o'clock in the morning, not a care in the world. Just bought a house. Let's go.
I love it. Well, thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate all the insight. This new single's
very much.
awesome. So I appreciate you guys joining us and allowing us to shine a light on this. So
Yeah, appreciate you taking the time out to interview us, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
all right, thanks, guys.
Talk to you later. Peace.
Right.